What is going on, everybody? Hey, how we doing? You can't hear me, don't know why. Let's fix this. Hello, 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 hello. Desktop audio, mic, headset, speakers, USB 2 device, yes. This one, okay, so you can't hear anything. Oh, that's why I don't have that going. There we go. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the graveyard. Today we are planning some D&D stuff out. I have the first of my 4 players with me. This is Rothus. Rothus, say hello to everybody.
Hey there, graveyard. How you doing? It's me, Rothus. You've heard me before. Glad to see y'all again.
So, first off, Rothus, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing well, doing well.
Good to hear.
Belly's full, lots of water. Fantastic.
Good to hear, man. So we are... let's see here. Let me do just a little bit here real quick. I was getting everything ready, got my, had to get some socks on because I lost my socks. And, so I got me a couple drinks, got my socks, finished feeding little one, and forgot to drop that I was live everywhere. So while I am dropping these, first off, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about your characters?
Alright, which one should I start off with? Alright, yeah, let's just start off with the first one. Jalen Even. The artificer of the group, of course. She's, well... She is a hardcore artificer, hardcore scientist, believes that, the ends justify the means, as well. You don't let your emotions get into your work, you know? Work is work, and life is life. You gotta separate the two a bit. Either way, she is looking to make very, how do you say, new potent poison. And maybe some potions along the way, but mostly she's focusing on crafting new poison, testing them. For science, of course. Right, and then on to the next one. We have Volset, who is a Warforged, recently created. Has been found to be quite in tune with nature. Speaking to animals, tending plants, but oddly doesn't interface well with people, humanoids at the very least. Gets along well enough with woodland creatures and the Fae, but other than that, isn't quite the best conversationalist.
Seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to find one of their traits that you liked that you were going to use?
A Warforged trait?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Open up the thing. I've moved on to this one already.
You're all good.
Alright. Yes. Doesn't understand the clothing. I mean, as a Warforged, you don't really need it, so.
Right.
He's kind of like, oh, sure, just drape these things on me. I don't understand why, but, do whatever you must.
Yeah, that works just about right.
Yep. Then there's Jaya Whisper, a strange sort of entertainer who likes to show off their marksmanship skills. Sometimes at the expense of others, but hey, all's fair in performances and the like. Not much else is known about Jaya, as they like to keep their mask on and keep their popularity to their persona.
That's
And
fair.
last but not least is Wandy Deadtoe. This young lady is here working for the house because she believes that they will be able to help her figure out something strange that's going on with her personage. She believes that she's possessed, but others believe otherwise. That, in fact, there might be some dormant power laying within. Either way, she will be working for a little.
Alrighty, so let us start here. I'm actually doing something, and I've actually been setting something up the entire time you've been talking. Let us go back to your very first one.
Jalen, gotcha.
Yeah, give me just 1 second here. See if this will work. Trying to remember how I did that. I just did this the other day. And I'm trying to remember how I did it. It's not browser, it's this one. So we're going to Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cut that top part out because people don't need to see that stuff. We're going to focus mostly on the character sheet, so we're going to cut out all that side extra stuff. Alrighty, here we go. Hopefully, go ahead and say something real quick.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go, cool. Hopefully y'all can hear him okay. I got a little bit of lo-fi going on, but... Alrighty, so with... so we're starting out with Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
So, first let's talk a little bit about your house. And if we get into some role-playing, we're going to get into some role-playing. Maybe how they're here. Maybe we'll get you like some sort of... item or boon for your first trial. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So yeah. So looking at Jalen, we have... So she said she's obviously variant human, artificer. You mentioned that she was an artificer and she's there to make potions and things like that. How did she come into the house, and what exactly is your house's goal in the arena? So for those who are unfamiliar, first off, the arena is going to be a trial basis thing, essentially, for our 4 houses, which is 4 players. Each player is going to have 4 different characters, and each character has to have a different class. So whether or not they multi-class or not is completely up to them. The only stipulations were pure, only official content only, no homebrew. Okay. Now, I only have access to Rothus's current players right now. Haven't gotten anybody else's. Some people will be making their characters live during their session 0. Rothus is always a little ahead of the game. His favorite part is making characters, so...
That it is.
He probably already had these 4 made up and then just rolled the stats.
Nope, actually, these are fresh makes.
Good deal.
I'm up to, what is it, 315 now? So close, 314.
I guess you got to make one more.
Right.
So, first off, let's talk your house. What is your house's name?
All right, so House Purruterrar is a house founded by gnomes. See, and we all know gnomes. They like to tinker. I should specify rock gnomes. Rock gnomes like to tinker. Forest gnomes are more naturey. Still very clever, but you know. So this was a house founded by rock gnome that they founded for the expense of better furthering the artificial magics. You see, it's not a blood house. It's more of a, how would you say?
They chose their family.
Yes, it's a chosen family that is picked from the best and brightest of their community, and then branched out further as they gained influence through new inventions or through mistakes. These things happen. So notoriety, a bit of infamy. It's like they've created things such as the an extendo grabber, something that can grab some things from afar for you.
Now the joke here is that they're short, so they need to use it to get to the tall places.
Exactly. You ever just have a tall friend set something up top, and then you need to get it, and then they're not around anywhere?
Rothus, I am that tall friend. I'm at 6 foot, buddy.
Yes, dude. Yes. But I'm speaking for the folks who are like, I don't know, 5'9".
Like you?
No. I'm 5'11". Hold on, I'm 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Might be 6 foot. Who knows? We'll have to stand next to each other someday. But
you have the invite to come down.
Hey, when I get the funds to come down, I'll come down. Simple as.
You can get the funds after you come down personally, but that's up to you.
Anyhow. But yes, we'll start off with Jalen and how she joined into the House Purruterrar.
So, one of the nice things that you guys will learn about each of the houses is every person structure their houses different. So, obviously, Rothus's is that they are a chosen family. So, they are all, from what I'm gathering, they are all going to be choosing to be there.
Indeed.
Okay. Some houses, they may choose to be there. Some houses may have prisoners fighting for them. Some of them may have being forced. Some may be paying people. So we will get to learn each house and why each person is there in each house. And circumstances may also differ from character to character as to why they are in that particular house. Who knows? We shall see. So let's start with Jalen Evanbrew. So obviously she's an artificer. So you said that they're looking into the house is looking into further their makeshift magics. So looking at the artificer, obviously she's. How did she come to the house?
How did she come to the house? Well, after hearing about this new and budding house that's coming up and coming with its inventions and, sharp minds coming together in one place, Jalen thought, hey, that's a wonderful place for me to advance my own studies. If I can pick other people's mind, because that's how science is done, all right? It's all peer-reviewed, and it's all just big brains smacking each other to get them to work harder.
Right.
So she decides to travel out to the Purruterrar house and discovers that they're kind of wacky, you see. She was expecting similar things to, college. She's been to college. And, she was expecting a sort of more rigid environment. But House Purruterrar is actually quite loose with its lab behavior and its guideline. Obviously, as long as it's not hurting anybody, it's not a problem. And if it does hurt anybody, as long as it's minor, it should be fine.
So we're not gonna have any shout tuckers.
No
Good.
tuckers. Not this time around. I'll get that next time. All right, I'll bring
You
gore as
better
well.
not. No. You have to remember this is all on stream, so we have to be very careful with the characters that we create and introduce here.
Right. Gore is a fantastic
No.
family-friendly.
No. No, he is not. Gore,
Uh,
Gore was not allowed to be on any stream that I am putting out, okay? Let's put it this way. Narihana's pushing it.
Narihana is pushing it. Oh, right. Narihana's pushing it. Okay, but that's a whole different. That's a whole different.
It's a whole different situation, though, to be honest.
Uh, but yes, so Jalen, she comes to this house, and it's not quite what she expected, but she's like, "Hey, I can work with this. You know, they're not too strict, and there's no professor or overseer breathing down my neck all the time. So I'll be able to do as I please, at least within reason, for now." And she's actually kind of using House Purruterrar to further her own goals, and then is take what she can to advance her own studies into the alchemical and their uses.
Is
And,
she open with them that she is using them for her own gains and then going to leave when she's gotten what she wants?
Not particularly the last part, but she's making it known that she's not here to make friends. She's not here to be buddy buddy with the other researchers. She's here to work. This is a
Okay.
very much relationship, and
Now, with her being the
she's
scientist,
the annoying aunt of the family, the snooty aunt. Yes, yes.
okay, so with her now, with her being the researcher and trying to do the magic that she's wanting and such like that, why is she choosing to fight in the arena? Or was she forced? Is she being forced to fight in the arena? So we know why she's in the house. Why is she going into the arena?
Well, obviously to test her experiments on in stressful situations and in combat situations.
Okay. Has she tested them on her own house and run out of test subjects?
Actually, she has tested some of them on herself. You see,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that way she's built up sort of a kind of a resistance, but it's also kind of messed up her what's the word?
Cognitive thinking?
A bit of her cognitive thinking. Her social skills have decreased even more than they were. But she's become more resilient, and she feels like her mind is sharper, even if the other things are failing.
That's fair. Alrighty. So she's going in to test them under pressure. She's there to use the house for her own devices. Alrighty, let's go on to the second character, which is Balsoth.
Balsa, yes.
Sorry, I've got notification boxes up, and one of them happens to cover right over where the names are. So,
I see. That's fine.
-1 in charisma skills. Alright, that's going to be interesting.
Yes. I mean, after all, it's a Warforged, and as I said before in the description, it's not very good with interfacing with humanoid.
Right.
Mostly about animals and nature. Plants and animals are fantastic, and it's more. He wasn't made to be like a butler bot or anything, so he doesn't really need to speak with people often.
Alrighty.
See,
So,
his purpose was actually to, because he was a pet project for several of the scientists, artificers, House Purruterrar.
was Jalen involved in it?
No, Jalen wanted no part in it. She was far too. She's an alchemist. She didn't see why they would want her to participate in this, and even if she did participate in it, she wouldn't really know what she was doing. That's not her area of expertise, you see.
Okay.
They tried to get her on board, but she wasn't having it. She wanted to stay in the chem lab.
That's fair. So, kind of going through, looking. Let's talk a little bit about Balseth before he gets in there, and we may even revisit Jalen because I didn't fully look through like features and traits and things like that. But I see on Balseth's character sheet when you went into your favored enemy, you went in and took Celestials. Now, is that there's the ongoing thing of like Celestials are like gods, things like that, angels, whatever, right?
Yes.
Did you take that for the whole science versus religion thing, or is it just first one that came to mind?
Actually, it is a bit of the science versus religion, but it's also because one of the artificers that were working on Balsip was heavily fascinated by the divinity, you see.
Okay.
And they wanted Balsep to be able to find and record and take notes of any divine being that it may come across when they eventually let him loose to just explore the world, walk the earth,
Okay. So it's less about that it's a favored enemy and more of the artificers that looked into and working on Balseth want to learn more, and so he is going to be better at tracking and moving stealthily around them than actually like hunting them.
Yes, it's less hunting and more being able to understand how they think, how they act, things like that.
Okay.
And also being able to properly understand and record such information.
Okay. Alrighty. Couple of different spells. Improved its strength, which I can see that. I forgot to look. Dagger, longbow. Isn't longbow dex based though?
Longbow is just dex based, but it's also base ranger stuff that you like when you start out as a ranger, you get a longbow off the bat.
Okay, that's fair. Alrighty.
But hey, it's never bad to have ranged option.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, alrighty. So he is very, very obviously, and I'm pretty sure self-explanatory. He's in the house, as we've already stated, because he was built there by a bunch of the scientists, artificers, things like that. And he is going into the arena as a trial run.
Yes, very much a trial run to see his physical capabilities as well as his ability to observe situations and react to it. They want to make sure that capable of solving complex problems like your standard, intelligent humanoid.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, so that pretty much goes into that one. So now let's check out Jaya Whisperbringer. I actually opened up all 4 of your character sheets so that I didn't have to bounce back and forth between each one.
I'm bouncing back and forth right
now. And like open one up and then close it and then open up another just for the ease of access. So this is your fighter. And just looking at like intelligence and wisdom, basically from the others, even she's more intelligent than the monk, but Yeah, what's a fighter doing in a house of scientists?
You see, Jaya was the last of the House, Purruterrar's gladiator, so to speak, and he was such as more of a mercenary pickup than a this is representing our house. They needed someone to fill out the roster, and Jaya just happened to appear before the council that was, trying to figure out what to do to fill in this spot. And he offered his services in a strange theatric way.
Okay.
And promised to, put on a show for the crowd, so that the House Purruterrar doesn't seem too one note or out there. You know how scientists are. You know how highly intelligent people are. They're a bit eccentric to the common layman.
So from a you perspective, this is your way of saying, huh, I don't want to have wizards, I don't want to have a sorcerer, I don't want to have a warlock. Now I gotta find some reason to tie this guy in.
Yes. Say as you wish. But, yeah. He's an entertainer.
Okay.
Who has come to basically bask in the glory and attention and adulation that comes with performing for a vast crowd.
Okay. Is this his first stint in the arena? I'm assuming the other two, it's their first stint. Obviously, Balseth, he's being tested. Jalen, Evan Brew, I'm assuming probably either first, maybe second time in. But what about Jaya?
Jaya, well, let's just say that he has a history of combat, but not particularly in the arena. And though he did offer his services, he didn't offer much about himself to house. He simply just stated that he was more than capable of representing them, and that he would not be a bother to their goal.
Okay. So, alrighty. So now, kind of looking through his sheet. Very basic stuff, and so we'll go to features and traits, because this is where it really comes in fun. So he's a gunslinger. Okay, so he's gonna do trick shots. So I'm assuming you're gonna calling those trick shots quite a bit, I'm sure. No extra.
Quite.
Alrighty, let's so he is there for he's literally in the house for the arena.
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically for the arena.
And in the arena for the pay.
In the arena for the pay and the spectacle, yes.
So I foresee a multi-class into Bard at some point.
No, actually, no.
No.
Decided not multi-class for this one. Only one of my characters going to multi-class, and that is Nick.
Yeah. I definitely could see like a School of Valor Bard or a School of Swords Bard, something like that, like going into it, So it'd be fun.
I was thinking of a crazy multi-class, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, keep it simple for this one, me, please. Please.
Okay, I won't do. What was it? What did that one have? He had like 5 classes. Hold on.
No, you're not allowed to do absurd.
Look, I just want to be a rogue, a cleric, an artificer, and I just want to be all the caster class. Don't believe me.
Look, I made a level 20 of my one character that I want to run at level 20 is
Mhm.
Krunk the Barbarian. So he is actually, just for chat, he is a barbarian, rogue, paladin, and he is not made to crit. He's not made to like sit there and just absorb damage. He is literally, oh, you hit me and you think it hurts? Check this. Because he can hit, because obviously he's got the barbarian, the barbarian strength. He's got the paladin with the smite damage, and then he's got an assassin rogue. So, all I've got to do is get that surprise round in and hit, and it's an auto crit, and we're just going to kill the first thing as long as I go first in combat.
Oh, and don't forget, he's the Goku to Neri's Vegeta.
That is very true. He found an underground fight club just because he wanted to. So, chat, once again, just so everybody is aware, we are here doing a session 0 with Rothus. We have gone through 3 out of the 4 characters: Ball, Seth, Jalen, and Jaya. We are now looking at Wandy Dead Toe. So if you guys are just joining us, we're gonna kind of get into a little bit of characters role play, things like that. Let's go over Wandy a little bit. So he is a monk, I see. And you said you plan on... Oh, she is a monk. I'm sorry. She is a monk, and you said that you planned on multi-classing with her. What do you plan on multi-classing with?
Multi-classing into cleric, but with my own kind of flavoring to it instead of a celestial being. It's more of a spirit than a god, you know?
Okay, that's fair. So let's see, what did you take for your Way of the Mercy? Okay. That's the Healy one, isn't it?
Healy, damagey, whatever you need your hands to do at the time.
Yeah. I forgot to look at what Balseth's subclass was, ranger-wise.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. So you got a Monster Hunter, a Way of the Mercy, Alchemist, and then your Gunslinger. Okay. So let's go over what is Wandy doing?
So, Wandy is almost, well, she is a stranger case than Jaya. Jaya is very simple, at least to the house. Jaya wants to, just wants to get their face out there and have fun or whatever. It's crazy, whatever those crazy swordsman people like to do, But Wandy, she actually came to House Purruterrar for help. She came from her monastery, right? And she was actually kicked out because it was believed that she was possessed by some kind of unnatural being. And she herself is scared. She's frightened. She doesn't know what this is. They didn't really help her out. They just said that she was like haunted and then kicked her out. So, no. But she came to the House Purruterrar because she thought, hey, this is a group of really smart people, and really smart people know a lot of stuff. So if they know a lot of stuff, they know how to fix a lot of things, so they can fix me. And going there, she explained her plight, and they were very, very interested in the house. They were highly interested. And they tried to do like some observations, and they concluded that there is something going on, but without further like stressors and variables added and taken away. They can't quite pin it down, and if they can't pin it down, they can't help her. So where will one find the most stressors and new variables added? well, combat, but
Okay.
those are kind of hard to study. So this arena that's happening, that happens to be happening soon, was a perfect fit for what checked out.
Okay. So now let's go back. So we've kind of learned why each character's in the house, why each character is fighting in the arena. You know what? So we've got Evan Brew is fighting, to test some of her potions and other magic items that she has created. Balseth is fighting as a trial run to his creators to see what all he can do. Jaya's in the arena for the fame and the money, and Wandy is there for the stress, to figure out what is actually going on with her. What is she being haunted? Is she being controlled? Does she have dual personalities? What is going on there? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, now, let's talk, why is the house in the arena? There's houses in the past have been fought for fame, fortune, to get known. To some houses, like I mentioned earlier with the prisoners, some are there chosen by the city saying, hey, we're going to give you these gladiators, put them in. Some houses specifically will go in and buy prisoners from jails that are on death row, or to have their sentences shortened to fight for them. Others are there, like to test things. Others are there for just because they enjoy fighting. I'm assuming I already know the answer, and I probably touched on it a little bit, but why is the house of... I've got to look it up because I'm going to pronounce it wrong if I don't. Purruterrar.
Mm-hmm. House Purruterrar.
Purruterrar. I'm going to call it House Purr. Why is House Purr there?
House Purr.
It is now a house of tabaxis. All of your characters now have to be tabaxi.
Oh, that's terrible. I think I'll forfeit. I think I'm gonna head out. But why have they come to the arena? Well, this arena is fantastic for any and all of their experiments that they can't really test in a lab safely, right? But the arena offers a place where, they can do these tests and have them observed by not only, the general public, but also people who might be interested and want to provide funding or maybe even pay for something.
So the entire house is Mei Hatsumi from My Hero Academia, pretty much.
I haven't even thought of her in a while. Jeez. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. That's something that people
her entire fight with
Ida.
That is why the house is in the arena. That entire fight right there.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man.
This will fly at this location.
Right. So, yeah. So we've kind of gotten to know why the characters are there, why they're in the house, why the house is there. What's a fun fact about each of them? Let's start with Balseth. What's a fun fact about Balseth?
Balseth?
Yep.
Well, his design is made to be... his design as, his chassis and whatever, is made to be non-threatening. And actually, at first he was just like, normal Warforged. They're kind of creepy looking. You've seen a Warforged. They're not like...
Iron Man meets Groot.
Yeah, basically. his design was actually made to look more friendly or more humanoid, more like a person, directly due to his inability to properly understand people and communicate with them. It was made so that he wouldn't completely like scare off people.
So more Iron Man suit Mach 2 versus Hulkbuster, or the one that he made when he was imprisoned.
Yes, yes, yes. Also, when he's not, you know, doing tests or, preparing for the arena like he is now, he's usually out in nature, making friends with the animals. Uh, his current best friend is a hawk he named Edgar.
Do you get an animal companion?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Now, if I was a druid, I'd be able to summon an animal companion, or if I had chosen Beastmaster.
Right. I'm not too familiar with the Ranger subclasses. I knew Beast Hunter did, and I knew that some like druids can and whatnot. So I didn't know whether this one could or not. But
Well, actually, the druid thing is, it came in Tasha's, right?
mhm.
Where instead of wild shaping, you can just summon an animal instead, which is fantastic for like circle of the land druids who are more casters than they are transformers.
Yeah, but for you know, Emperor Hyroth, it is not. It is not a good idea.
He's
So,
not the ideas guy anyway.
I mean, to be fair, no. He's actually average intelligence, just doesn't understand things. Yeah, so he's okay. Let's go to Wandy. What's a fun fact about Wandy?
Wandy. Well, Wandy is missing a toe. That's why she's called Dead Toe.
Is it the middle toe?
No, it's the ring toe. Silly.
Wow. On the left foot.
Yes, actually.
Nice.
But yeah, besides that, they like music. They're not the best at making it, but they will keep doing so.
Okay.
She's proficient with the lute, though you wouldn't be able to tell. And and her singing voice is awful.
Right. What's Jalen's fun fact?
Fun fact about Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jalen Evanbrew, her one of her experiments left her with a bit of a muscular atrophy. Why her strength is like that. And actually, her armor is kind of what is assisting her in movement and stuff until she's able to recover properly.
Okay.
And as for Jaya, well, he likes to perform combat as though he himself is conducting sort of like a play or an orchestra. Right? Everything has its place, and when things go out of whack, well, you gotta roll with it and cover it up like it was all part of the.
Okay.
Definitely an entertainer at heart.
Right
Also,
on.
you can play the dulcimer. It's nice. Play the faux piano.
Just kind of looking at the rest of these. The only two that really have a language that they can share other than common is Balseth and Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The outsiders don't speak the language.
And Jalen can speak Undercommon. That's interesting.
For no reason in particular, don't look into it.
Uh-huh.
Don't look into it. No, shut up.
Was it literally you're just trying to think of one and was like, oh, I'm going to put Undercommon or Undercommon?
No.
So there is actually a reason for it?
There is actually a reason for it.
Alrighty. Well, we'll keep that as a secret then.
Mm-hmm.
For right now. I mean, you're going to obviously have to tell me at some point, being the DM, but we'll keep it a secret from chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So let's kind of talk a little bit. We're gonna kind of role play this. It's going to be less about you getting into character and telling me more about what's going on. And if I need you to go into a character, I will let you know, because obviously you're playing 4 characters, so it's hard for you to role play each specific one in each separate separate event, right? So we're going to start probably, a week before the arena is actually started. Okay, so we have the first day for our arena is actually a month out, in real life. In game, all of these role plays are going to be a week before the arena starts. Alrighty, so your characters have each been selected for the arena. They get taken to the arena first. And they get put into their rooms, okay? Obviously, they are there voluntarily. The house has probably a little bit more funding than maybe some other houses do. Not like extravagant, they're not sleeping on 4-post beds, but they have comfortable beds. The common area, because so the way these are going to be drawn out, and chat, I'm going to try my hardest to have some maps made. To show you guys kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about these common areas, the sleeping quarters for each house, and then the arena itself. For today and for the next couple weeks, just kind of bear with me, and I will get those made up as soon as I can. But the common areas for the arena are offset. They're actually all underground, right? And when you walk to the arena area, you have to walk through a bunch of hallways and up a ramp to get into the arena proper. So you are underground. The main hallway leads in. There's a door there. There's a big circular giant area that is the common area. And then there's an offshoot. So the main door would be here. And then kind of think of it almost like a paw print. Each one of the doors leads to a different room. And they are each separated just barely. What does each character, what is each person doing when they are told the news that they are fighting for the house? Obviously, Jaya and Wandy want to be there. Balseth and Jalen, maybe not so much, but they're being, selected to test things out. What is everybody's reactions to fight?
Well, Jaya Jaya is a confident man. See, he's a confident man, and he's sure of himself. And as I said before, like in combat, he acts as if everything is going to plan no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Oh yes, of course. I knew this would happen." Blah 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 blah, and takes it with stride as he waits.
And next, you're going to say this.
Yes.
That's for those who don't know in chat. That's JoJo's reference, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it wasn't. Was it season 2?
Season 2.
Yeah, it was season 2. Yep.
I outsmarted your outsmarting.
Right. See, I wasn't really running away to jump into this minecart, but.
But yes. As for Wandy, she's kind of nervous, really. She's young. She's a young lady, a bit unsure. She's not as sure of herself as Jaya is, because you can anyone who's spoken to Jaya can assume that he's about early to mid 30s. He's got a bit of life, right?
Okay. Little bit older for an adventurer, but
Yeah. See, a little bit older for an adventurer. It's like, hey, aren't you a bit old to be running around, pal? It's like, I keep myself healthy. I drink my water. I hit my squat. 100 squats.
drinks
100
his
push-ups.
milk.
Yep, drink my milk. Run a couple miles, stuff like that. But
10K run.
10K run.
No AC.
I mean, do they have AC in your world?
I mean, have they invented an everlasting cooling spell?
They do have what is it? It's like the chest of preserving or whatever, which is basically a fridge.
I mean, you just open up a spell book and it casts Gust like 5 times in a row. Like, that's gonna obviously cool off some stuff.
That just pushes the hot air around.
Glyph of warding into Gust. There you go.
Constant breeze hitting your face.
Then you do a glyph of warding to heat metal on a piece of armor that you keep right by it.
No, that's not. You're not thinking. So what you got to do is cast heat metal on somebody's breastplate and then use that breastplate for barbecue.
I mean, there you go. Yeah. So, but yeah. So Wandy is nervous but excited. I think you were saying, is that right?
Yeah, she's nervous, but she's very much looking forward to seeing if the house can figure out anything that's going on and help her deal with it if it's a big problem. Jalen, as she's told, she's kind of just rolls her eyes because she's being bothered in her lab at the moment, and she waves them off and says she'll be there, and that she has to gather her thing. And Balseth, they actually have to send someone to track Balseth down because he's out on one of his nature walks.
Okay. How long has Balseth been made? Like, how long has he been functional?
He's been functional for 3 months as of now.
3 months. Okay. Alrighty. So he's had a little bit of wandering around. They made sure that there were no kinks in him just wandering and moving around.
Yeah.
Okay, so they all get together. Obviously, Jalen knows of Balseth. Jaya and Wandy probably don't know a whole lot about Balseth or Jalen, correct?
No, not at all.
And then they probably don't know each other, a whole lot of things about each other either.
No. Very much a group of strangers here.
Okay. Does Jalen know a little bit about Wandy and her predicament?
She's heard about it through because as an alchemist, she also deals with medical things. As in, poultices and also potions, healing potions, stuff like that. So, Wandy has actually been brought to Jalen once or twice, as the people who are actually handling Wandy's case come to Jalen for like a second opinion on blood work and stuff like that. And Jalen kind of just like, I don't particularly care, but very well.
Right.
And she'll work with them for about let's say 2-3 weeks and then go back to whatever she was working on it.
Okay, so how long has Wandy been in the household proper then?
Only about a month. With Jaya being the newest addition to through the house as they were looking for someone else because time was coming up, and I was just happened to appear for them.
Okay. And then Jaya, I'm assuming, has been there for maybe a couple of days, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Double day.
And then
So,
obviously Jalen's been there for, what, couple of years now then?
yes, definitely been here for a couple of years. Teach getting her tenure.
Okay. So out of the four of them, then, we would probably say that Jalen is probably there's not really going to be so much a leader of the houses, but Jalen would be the one to make any decisions if there were any decisions needed to be made.
Indeed.
In the arena part. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, so each one, so you guys get led, all four of them get led, gathered up and led to the arena. Give me just 1 second. I'm actually going to go turn this light off. My son's sleeping next to me, and he's like kind of growling at the light, so give me just 1 second, guys. Alrighty, I'm back. So all four of them are gathered in. Each room has a name written on it already, okay?
Okay.
Specifically for the house gets to set up the rooms beforehand. So we're coming in, you go into Jalen's room, and, she plays around with potions. So they have a little potion brewing area set up in the room for her. They have her bed set up. It's not too soft, not too hard. Maybe a couple more blankets than she might normally like, or a couple more pillows, something like that. But it's, all in all, it's a comfortable room. She finds herself at home there. She's not going, she's going to be spending the next month here. They want her to be comfortable, okay? Is there anything? So she walks in, she looks around. It's not a huge room, not a small room. Probably 10 by 15.
10 by 15.
Yeah, I mean that's it's not huge, it's not small, but it's a comfortable room. She can have a bed. She has her bed. She has a small dresser and a small closet for her clothes, and then the brewery stand. Maybe a chair to where she could sit and read, but that's going to make it kind of cramped. So, what does she do as soon as she comes in?
As soon as she comes in, she inspects the facilities of the brewery table, the alchemy table.
Mm-hmm.
Checking the vials, how sturdy they are, and also checking if there are any available chemicals there. She check, make sure that they've been properly preserved, as to not lose their potency.
Go ahead.
Mixing into stuff.
I'm actually going to have you go ahead and make a roll here for this one. This is going to be your first roll of the campaign. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll as you look around at these potions and decide, is this going to be worth using? Is there anything, missing, anything expired? What is going on here? And since we don't have a dice bot set up in my server or Roll20 or anything like that, you're welcome to use your own dice or a virtual dice somewhere that I don't have to see the roll.
I'm just using the D&D Beyond sheet dice that they have.
Oh yeah, I forgot your
function, which is fantastic.
I forget you're not a pleb. You're not a dice connoisseur like me. So yeah, go ahead and roll that and let me know.
Yep. So I rolled a 14 with a +6 modifier to get a 20.
Okay. So yeah, as you start looking around this, you find that it is fairly well stocked. There's different chemicals there. None of them seem to be anywhere near expiration or near gone bad. There's actually a couple ones that you haven't heard of before, that the house is like treating you special because she is voluntarily there. So they've given her a couple more resources than maybe they had um, in the house itself. And then there's a couple plants. Obviously you find your worm's root, your some cattails, some dandelions, just stuff that you might use, some mushrooms, things like that you might use for some potions. And it seems very well put together. You do find a bottle that has a small crack in the base. That had you not been had you not been looking exactly over everything, it could have been easy to miss.
She sees this, and then she shakes her head, a bit disappointed. And then she thinks about it. She thinks she can use that for something or another, very least. In a combat situation, it may be a bit easier to use for, say, something you want to throw and shatter on impact. So she'll keep it around.
Okay. Alrighty, so let's go to Balseth. We go into Balseth's room, and as the house has learned, Balseth does not need to sleep, so there is no bed in his room. Obviously, there's no dresser. He doesn't really have need for clothes, things like that. There is, however, plants galore laying around. There is little animals running around, and there is even a little perch for his hawk.
Yes. I'm assuming there's like an open window or something.
Well, you're underground, so there is no open window.
Right. That's fine. So, I'm assuming the animals here are burrowing animals like rabbits, moles. There's a small tree over in the corner that you can hear probably a squirrel, and things like that. Just small little animals. You're not gonna run into like a boar in this room or anything like that. Yeah, a bunch of mice, squirrels, rabbits, a mole, that type of stuff. Fantastic. So, Balseth is quite pleased with this, as he can speak with animals. He needs to do so to greet the animals and, introduce himself. Very like.
They all seem very friendly.
Checks the plants to make sure that they're in good health. Looks around for maybe a source of water. Because he knows that the humanoids that he's with will need water, so assumes that there's a water device maybe out in the common area.
There is actually a small spigot with a single knob over in the corner with a watering can underneath it.
Ah, fantastic. He is quite pleased with this, and is grateful that his creators understood his wishes, at the very least, when it comes to his interests.
Nothing really specific other than, the watering can sticks out to him. There is a little bit talk of, like, why are you here from, like, the animals? Like, why are we here? Things like that. But they all seem, like, friendly enough. They just kind of confused because this is not where they normally should be. So, yeah. Going to Jaya. Obviously, with them not knowing Jaya as well, him only being there for a couple days, they tried to do what they could for him. He has his bed. He has a dresser. And there is what looks to be a small desk for him to write at. Looks almost hastily crafted together because he's not a researcher like they are. They're not. They're used to their desks having multiple different points, to research, to mix potions, to craft things, and then to take notes. They're not used to making very small desks for this. So he has a small, hastily crafted, what looks to be a desk. And then a little polishing area for weapons, which he told them he was a fighter. They expected melee weapons, not a bow.
No, he has melee weapons. Don't worry about it.
I can look and see what he has, sir.
Yes, he has.
He has crossbow. He does have a rapier. Okay, so yeah.
Nothing like a bit of sword oil to keep your sword slick. Yes, I don't know. I don't fight with swords.
Polished and clean.
Polished
and a whetstone to keep it sharp.
Yes,
that's really about all that's there.
Mm-hmm. He'll make some requests later, as he has a bit of an idea for a thingy thing.
Yeah.
But besides that, he'll offload his equipment and take a moment to rest before taking out his dulcimer to play.
Does he go to the common area to play, or does he just play in his room?
He'll play in his room for now.
Okay.
It's just a bit of a warm up. When he actually wants to play, he'll go to the common area and see who comes out to admire his fantastic.
Alrighty. So now we will go on to Wandy. So Wandy, being more of a monk and coming from the monastery, they will have set her room up with a little less detail oriented, because normally monks are giving up a lot of the extremities, the exquisites to life, So she has instead of a bed, she has like a little cot with a blanket and a pillow. She's been there for, what would we say, a couple months, couple weeks?
Yep. 1 month.
1 month. So yeah, she's been there for a month. So they've gotten to know her a little bit. So she has, she has like the prayer areas for her monk, for where she would worship there. She has areas to stretch out. She has, some things that would interest her, and the cot.
All right. So she's nervous, because she's never really been in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she's really happy that the researchers actually took the time to note what she was interested in and made the room to suit. So she kind of moves around, does some stretches to get a feel for the room.
There is also a small cupboard in the corner opposite of the dresser.
I'd like to check that out.
She opens that up.
Left there anything?
She opens that up, and because they had noticed that she does enjoy to play some music, even though she's not entirely great at it, there is a pan flute, a small lute, and a small drum.
Awesome. It's like, oh man, this is great. She tries the strings of the lute, tests the notes of the flute, and drum's a drum.
Give me one performance check at disadvantage on it.
Gotcha.
being that you have said yourself that she is not terribly great at it, and she's probably not quite used to these particular instruments.
Ooh, I think that's a natural 1 for a total of 3.
So, luckily, I do not follow the crit fail skill checks. But as she is playing, she picks up the lute and she starts to play, and she strums just a little bit too hard, and the strings on the lute break.
Oh, dang it!
Easily repairable, just an inconvenience. And other than that, she plays the other 2 instruments just god awful. So. So.
Lute is like one instrument that she's actually proficient in.
Which is why I made that one the one that actually breaks.
She'll figure out the other one.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So, as we go through the week, you learn Jalen learns, Jalen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jalen will learn that the first round of house, first round, so the first day of the house trials, is going to be puzzle rooms. Each contestant, we will roll to see which order they go in. Will be entered into a specific room, and in that specific room will be one puzzle that they have to solve and escape from in order to win the round. At the end of the day, the house with the most rounds will take the day, and the house with the least will lose. There is no penalties for losing. Your rewards just are not as good.
Fair enough.
What does she do? And
Okay, so what to do? She looks this over this notification. I'm assuming it arrives as what? People coming, or is it like
somebody is it's somebody walks into the common area, and in the common area there is table with 4 chairs, one for each one of the competitors. There is comfortable chairs to sit and relax, a bookshelf with some books on it, and there is an empty cork board, almost like a message board. And she is the first one to see that there is a message posted up with the rules for the first, or the announcement for the first round to be posted there.
Okay, so she looks over this announcement, and upon seeing that it's a puzzle, like a kind of puzzle room thing, she seems a bit annoyed, as she wanted to test her little alchemy stuff, but she figures that it's not going to be like simple puzzles, and gets to gathering the other member and notifying them. So, about how long have they been in this area for now?
I'd say this is probably 3 days before the first round begins. They've been in the room in the confines for about 4 days now. It has not locked down, so they're able to pretty much come and go, bring in other stuff if they wish, make changes to their room. This is we're getting started, we're making sure you guys are comfortable for at least for your house, and things like that. So they could come and go, Balseth can go get his hawk and bring the hawk in, things like that.
So, now that Balsa's room is a veritable petting zoo, uh, she gathers them and explains the first round and asks each and every one of them if they believe that they're going to be able to, handle a puzzle. Like, it's kind of, and the way she says it is kind of condescending. Like, are you sure you can handle blah 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 blah? Right? You know, the egotistical Jaya doesn't take kindly to that. He rolls his eyes. And he's like, just because we're not artificers or wizards or stuff like that doesn't mean that we're mentally deficient. We'll be able to solve this in our own unique way. Galen, she's not quite convinced, but she doesn't particularly care enough to, argue. She's not going to start a confrontation because someone brought up, like, yeah, we're not dumb.
Right.
She's not that kind of. She's not that kind of intellectual.
Okay.
Wandy, she upon hearing this, she's a little bit nervous on the inside, but she's trying not to let it show. She was never good at the puzzle boxes that they had at her monastery. Little wooden, little wooden puzzles. And she really hopes that it's not something like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, she's like, okay, well, that's it. You can just do whatever. And she goes back to her room.
What does Balseth think of it?
Balseth,
he just doesn't care.
He's done puzzles before as an experiment, to test his intelligence. So he's like, oh wow, another experiment. There you
go. Okay.
I'm not really bothering him. He knows what he's here for. He didn't expect a puzzle.
Right.
But he's glad that it's a puzzle. Oh, he's like, yeah, I've done puzzles. I'm comfortable with puzzles.
So I will go ahead and have you roll me a straight D4, and this is actually going to start your character, right? So this is going to be the first character that you will play with when we begin next month. So if you wouldn't mind, roll that D4, and then we will figure out who you start with.
All right, I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3, so Jaya is actually going to be the first one in.
Oh, all right.
So, yep. Jaya will be the first one in, and then Wandy will be second, Jalen third, and Balseth fourth. You're familiar with the way I organize them. Just makes it quick and easy for me. So, obviously Jaya is confident out front and in the common area. Does Jaya go back to his room after this announcement, or what happens there?
No, actually, Jaya has heard how terrible Wandy is with her instruments and her singing.
Okay.
And he says he can't do anything for her singing, but he can at least teach her how to play a string instrument. He plays dulcimer.
Okay.
So he's actually gonna like grab Wandy and be like, all right, so lessons continue, and they're gonna bring out their instruments to the common area to play.
Okay.
For lessons.
Obviously you mentioned that Wandy is a little nervous. How does Jaya feel going into this? Like, how does he actually feel? Is he nervous? Is he?
He is intrigued. He never thought that an arena would have puzzles. He's very much of the mind that puzzles belong in books or as toys and not in the arena. But he's also sort of excited that it will be that
Right.
he'll be able to experience something new
Alrighty.
in this little. It'll be an experience, you know.
For sure, for sure. So, alrighty. With that being said, there will be something coming to your house's way, so I will DM that to you with what you get. I will let you know. One character is going to be able to use it. Okay? So it is not something that is going to be able to go to each character, so make sure you let me know which character is getting it, and then we will be able to go from there.
Okay.
So, is there anything else you would like to personally add about any one of your characters, about your house, about how you think this is going to go?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna win. Just like last time.
You didn't win last time.
Shut up! I'm going to win, just like last time.
So this is actually the second time that Rothus has done my homebrew thing called the Arena. As I mentioned to you guys before, it is 4 players with 4 characters apiece. They each belong to a specific house, and they are going to compete over 4 days, 4 rounds on each day. Last time, I believe he came in 2nd or 3rd?
It was second, maybe. I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
Not that I really kept notes, but
I mentioned who won when.
Pretty hard.
Maybe I didn't put it in. I must not have put it in. Yeah, I did not put it into a area for who won when what. So
Now the ancient texts are lost to time.
yep. I could go back and look, but
It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, it's no big deal. So, alrighty, guys, I will. Yeah. So Rothus, who do you think? So each person here has played D&D before. You are the only person that I have actually DM'd with. You are one of 2 people that I have played with. I don't know whether... I don't think you have played with Mielda. Obviously, you've played with Rhydom. And then, I don't know... So we're...
Right.
So Mielda is one of my players, Rhydom's one of the players, you're one of the players, and then the 4th slot is going to be filled by one of 2 people, either my buddy Rainbow Potato or my buddy Chromatic Frost. So, out of Mielda and Rhydom, who do you think your biggest competition for your house is going to come from?
Well, not Rhydom. Rhydom's actually worse than me when it comes to luck with rolls, so.
That is very fair.
So I guess I'll go with Miel.
You're going to go with Mielda? I would say with Frost or Potato, but we're not entirely sure which one, so it's not going to be fair to have you choose one of them and then it not be them that plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
So yeah, let's. So you think Mielda is going to be the worst, the best, or the worst and best competition for you? Who do you think is going to be the worst?
All depends on the roll of the dice.
That is fair. Alrighty, which one of your characters are you most excited to play?
I'm always looking forward to committing experiments with Jalen. So
That's fair. That is very fair. So, alrighty, bub. Well, I think we're gonna call it there. We've been going for about an hour and a half or so now. I think we're gonna call it, and we're actually gonna raid into Mielda. She is currently streaming. I've been kind of lurking in her chat for a little while now. She is doing a art stream. It looks like she was playing some Mario Kart earlier, and I think she said she's going to be playing some Among Us in a little bit as well. So we're going to raid into her, everybody. She has actually confirmed her session 0 as well. So Rothus is the first of the 3 that I have confirmed. His is tonight. In 2 days, so Saturday night at 9 p.m. EST, we'll be actually working with Rydom. He's going to have to make his character, so it'll be a little bit longer. And then after Rydom, 2 nights from that, on Monday, we will actually have Mielda. And after that, we will have either Frost or Potato, depending on which one of those guys is coming in. And then we will probably do a session 0 with all 4 of you guys in, probably about 2 weeks before we start. So let's see, that will be, it'll be on a Saturday, so the 12th is when we're starting. So it'll be the last Saturday of the month, which it looks like is going to be the 29th. So that's actually 2 weeks from the 15th, which is Rydom's first session. So the 29th, I'm going to try and get everybody in all together, and that way we can answer any final questions, kind of go over any final rules with you guys, things like that for you. That work for you, Rothus?
That works for me.
Alrighty. Chat, once again, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anybody lurking, I appreciate it. Didn't really have a whole lot of actual chatting going on, but that is perfectly fine. So yeah, we are going to raid into you guys, and we're going to raid into Mielda. Rothus, you have a good rest of your day, sir. Rest of your night. And we will see you in a couple weeks, if not beforehand. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to DM me.
Gotcha.
And thanks for coming back, buddy. I appreciate it.
No problem, anytime. I'm gonna head out now.
For sure, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Chat, once again, thank you all for coming out. We will see you guys in 2 days on Saturday for my next one. Yeah. Bye, guys.